如此美丽的事物，怎么会这样凋零？瘟疫正在毁灭这片土地，尽管生命之树依然矗立，但还能坚持多久？新的世界即将迎来终焉，部族之间分崩离析，需要一位强者带领他们走向统一，又或者将他们毁灭。这故事有一段不寻常的开始，所以结局也注定不平常。欢迎来到生化变种。
Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Deadeye. Deadeye chosen. Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So,
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection.
natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and is
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Keep hammering away. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways.
Swoon.
Bullseye. The deep cut. Half-lifed. Wow, that's good stuff. Not really mainstream, but okay then. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Close encounter. Misery. Good thing you're strong. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Cutting edge. trigger finger. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. You always find good use for things like that. Something strange could happen to you. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what? There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life, the existence of energy, powering and connecting all things living, like the Nono. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of... You've found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate... You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. You handle that net like you've never... He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to... They're hiding in the glitter grass that mostly grows deep. One day, he hopes the tree will have... But today... Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with you, from this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even... You can already see the effects. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Mooma comes looking. No. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of... He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might... The tree started to die when the end of days begun. The genetic evolution that occurred... His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his Octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of the road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if... His friends have prepared some... Regardless. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives. He doesn't know what. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that.
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
always making this person.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's out of date again. He must have missed something important. Out of date. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a... Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of date says someone needs to break the He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He can sense you share Myriad's view on the world. The Myriad would embrace someone willing to fight against the... Out of date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your... Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. Right in the face. Feeling buff. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. The Sifu's door is always open for newcomers, but he called.
Zata is the muito tloho. Kariesne zdace. Paro, ya put.
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your hand. He understands that sometimes we need to lose us. There's something about your spirit that sparks memory. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of... Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, the Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Jackney doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Says there is some darkness in the best of us, even you, and suggests you embrace that side of you and help them vanquish the tribes and let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life.
Oh?
He had a feeling you'd say that. You're not sinister enough to be a... He'll give you a chance to change your mind before you leave and asks you to reconsider. Otherwise... Then so be it. He wants you to know that they'll show no mercy at the... And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Myriad's Stone Fort before word gets out that you've chosen not to side with them. He disagrees, and the day you meet... It's time to say goodbye for now. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially. Deformed and unfurred. Smirked! Through. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Thinks you should just put...
Sibi? La fanen agin kan man. Geradna fal hutut mus. Tugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself, but he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland? He's convinced you've returned for... There's something about your... The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come... There were 6 of them, but the unity fell up. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by then... The Jagni tribe may believe that fear and hatred will lead them to domination, a vanquisition of... Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. They might bring them war, but they'll never... He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to... Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their... They passed the point of no return as their words lost. Seeing you brings back his memory. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. He remembers your kind and unselfish. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on, even though it's now a different place from a different... Spark! Shine's happy that the Myriad can count on a... Says you're well... You don't know Goop. He built... Understands... Says it's better to be holed up somewhere safe than to wander around. Seems surprised. Let's see. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better when... He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practiced... Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one understands what they're going through. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Knowing how to swim won't solve... He says that wasn't too bad, was it? He says a feeling that you're... But you need practice. Lots of practice. You need to rely on those who... You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never... Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun... You know you can't make up for... You should know. Practice makes perfect. As long... She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. He's learned that things are never as bad as they seem. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He's happy to hear that from someone that's a part... You should look for things that are recyclable. Sometimes he's an expert, but he can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He says, oh, he'd like... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a... He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime. He thinks he's looking forward to seeing what... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before... That's all. You've always followed your own path. Then start by meeting her. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and... He's not scared of anything. There's no way they'll let you... He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have to... She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She's there for all disciples. The most important. It's time to focus on your training now. She suggests that you forgive. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He heard you helped Gizmo. He asks if you could help him too before you leave. He wishes that was true for your Moomer too, but guiding the village into the future and teaching... He suggests you get going. He's curious to see what you found. He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the wilds to look for... He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. Thinks some... He says it's a... The style might be too edgy for his taste. He knows she's already... You should... He's sure your Muma will forgive you. He's looking forward to see... Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Hopes you're as... She says she is eager to get... But there's enough time left for repetition and... That's a good attitude. Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. Thanks you... Been work... You should go see him and find out what it is. You've... Says he's always thought... Catchy. Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little. Figuring that out is half the fun. A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in... It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you... You should think of it as watching over you when... Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. Says a good rest make... Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. There's nowhere to run to this time. Whatever happens, you need... She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to... Exactly. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Looks like it'll work. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulks on the loose. Now that's a flesh wound. Down to half your health. That's going to leave a mark. Dead on. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned. They've received a group of myriad crusaders. You should hurry. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Look, an emergency box from the old... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? A teeth shatterer. better days. Sunburnt. You can make something from that. Take a moment to absorb the day. That notice board, filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old... The Toxanol Corporation made this place. Toxanol never cared about the waste. There must be a track somewhere. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. So much fun to sneak around here. Look at you move. dead yet.